the reward he was wanting was to walk with God. And I tell this story all the time, and I know you've heard it before, but it blesses me to think about this, that, Enoch, if you look at in the chronology of things, it says he's the seventh from Adam. If you add their years up, Adam was still alive, their lives overlap. And Enoch surely could have known Adam, and I'm sure he did. He's in his lineage. And we're told about Adam and Eve before the fall that God walked with them in the garden in the cool of the day. It says that. Now, in that time, before the fall, no telling what that experience was like. That's a remarkable thing to think about, what it was like to walk with God. And I'll bet you that Enoch, on the other side of the fall, probably asked Adam about that. I'm sure that was probably a topic of discussion, wouldn't you think? Yeah, just like if you lived through the Depression, you want to tell about that. And I know sometimes I talk to Don about the prisoner of war camp out here. Remember Don, because he's experienced that. And I didn't know anything about that, but I think it's fascinating, I think Enoch would have been fascinated with what life was like in the garden. Wouldn't you be?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure Adam probably told him, we walked with God then. And wow, what would that be like? And whatever, I'm just presuming that Enoch got that idea in his mind, that that's something that can be done. And I just guess, Adam probably said, well, yeah, but you can't do it anymore. Because, sorry about that, folks. that deal's over with. But somehow Enoch got in his mind, well, if you walked with God, then God's available to be walked with. And I'm going to walk with God. And he believed that he was. And he believed that he was a rewarder of those that diligently seek him. And the way I heard, and actually I heard Lester Sumrall tell it this way. I don't know if you all know who Lester Sumrall is, but he told it. He made up this little imaginary story, and he said, I imagine Enoch just go out and plow the field or whatever it was he did, and he'd say, God, I'm going to walk with you today. Probably didn't feel anything more than you would if you said that. Probably he said that every day. And finally, he after a while, saying, God, I'm going to walk with you today, he began to sense the presence of God walking with him. God's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. That's what it said. Isn't that right?
That's right.
And once you start to sense the presence of God with you, that sort of heightens your appreciation of it and your awareness of it. And Enoch got to enjoy in this walking with God, I'm just supposing, And what Lester Sumrall said when he told this story was, I bet also about that time people started talking about him. Have you noticed that, Enoch, how weird he is? He's out there in the field talking to somebody, nobody's there. That's kind of, that Enoch, he's weird, But that's a small price to pay for walking with God, I think. Just let them think you're weird. That's what I think.
Sure they do.
That's right. Which would you rather have? Well, that's right. And then the way Lester Sumrall told it was, no telling how many years. Doesn't tell us how many years he walked with God before God said he took it. Isn't that remarkable? And the way Lester told it was, he said, I imagine when they were walking together, just like Enoch got used to walking with him every day, and God finally said, Enoch, you walk with me every day. And I notice right now, we're closer to my house than your house. Why don't you just come home with me? That's pretty good, isn't it? Now, I don't think we should get in our minds the hope that we'll be translated like Enoch. Because remember what I said to you before. The reason that we're here, the reason he left us here, is because he wants heaven happening here. But you know what? If we'll walk with God, that transforms our life. He that began a good work will bring it to completion. And he brings about heaven that other people can touch.
That's right.
Through us walking with God. And I think it's more simple than we imagine. It's not complicated, I don't think. I think it's just as simple as Enoch saying, I'm going to walk with God. I think we can say the same thing, and I think he's faithful. We just read that he that began a good work brings it to completion. He works at us, and he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and he's a rewarder of those who seek him.